Hi. Hope all is well. I hope you are having an amazing day. So I'm back. This video is a part 2. I posted a part 1. It's random readings out of the Epistle of the Apostles. So we're going to continue with the readings. This is a part 2. Perfectly go watch part 1. What did I want to say? Okay, so the main thing, I'm just reiterating in case you haven't watched part 1, but the main thing that I'm talking about is that the Epistle of the Apostles is after Yahushua died and was resurrected. And so these are his sayings direct after he was resurrected. And so a lot of these things were told, his resurrection canceled that out, or his dying on the cross, canceled that out. But we're reading in this that that's actually not true. And I mean, honestly, I just love the Epistle of the Apostles. When I read it, I was like, whoa. So anyways, that's why I just wanted to share it. Really just random readings. Okay. But we are going to talk about still the importance of keeping the commandments, because I wanted to highlight that, because we are told that with the death of Yahushua, or what the word calls Jesus, that that cancels out, because of grace, that cancels out that you have to concern yourself with the commandments. But that is not true. It's not true. It's very plain here, and I think that this is important for people to know, and so that's why I'm sharing. So we're going to continue with the reading. Sorry, something outside. Okay, so I want to start with chapter 37. Oh, also, just in case this is coming out of the 100 Book Apocrypha, in case you want to pick it up on Amazon for yourself, which you should. Okay, so chapter 37. So the context behind this is now. This chapter 37, he's talking about the signs of the end times. He's talking about, what's going to be happening in the end times. These things are now. It's happening now. So it says, chapter 37, then we said to him, Lord, teach us what will come to pass thereafter. And he answered us and said, in those years and days will war be kindled on war. The four ends of the earth will be in commotion and fight against each other. Thereafter will be quakings of clouds, and it says, or clouds of locusts, darkness and scarcity, and persecutions of them that believe on me and against the chosen. Pause. I've read in a couple of books that are not all in the Bible, but one thing that stood out to me is this sentence where it says, there will be persecutions on them that believe on me and my chosen. And I'm calling that out because a couple of times where I've read this, it talked about, so in one, I can't find it now, but it talked about how who will be persecuted is the Hebrews and my chosen. And so I'm saying that to say, again, we're taught, who the Israelites are, don't matter, who cares, it don't matter. But I'm sharing this because, again, if you are Black, you need to know this. You need to know that the Hebrews in the end times, there will be some persecution. And I'm saying this because you may think, no, well, we've been taught that anyone that truly believes on Yahushua will be persecuted. And that's true. That's why he names two groups. He names those that believe on me and follow me, and then my chosen. But why does he name two groups? And this is the only time I've seen this. I've seen this in other places too. It's because that one of the groups that might, deal with some persecution is the Hebrews. But I'm saying this because if you're Black and you don't know this, you're not going to know that there's some persecution coming to you that's biblical, which should make sense, right? I mean, honestly, you can start to see that now. I did a video one time where I talked about, and I know the Israelite community talks about this, but I was basically just trying to say, they may try to take us back to the days of Tulsa, or they may, because you got to think about it. When the other nations know that their reign is over, they're going to scorch earth, or they're going to try to, buck against that, and you go after God's chosen to get to God, to get to Yahuwah. So I'm sharing this, like I said, for people that are not in the Israelite community, because you need to know this. We're told it's only Christians, but that's not true. Two of the groups that get persecuted is his chosen, which is the Hebrews. And then also, if you ride for him, That you could be whatever bloodline or race. But if you ride for him for real, you really ride for him, you should expect persecutions. And so, I just wanted to call that out because I don't think that that's widely thought of, that as a Black person, you might suffer for your beliefs. You're taught that as a Christian, but you're not taught that as an Israelite, right? So I just want to point that out. Okay, so it says, locusts and persecutions of them that believe on me, and against the chosen, his chosen people. Therein will come doubt and strife and transgressions against one another. And there will be many, okay, this is interesting. He said, this is in the end times. He says, and there will be many that believe on my name and yet follow after evil and spread vain doctrine. So these are people, they believe in him, but they follow after evil and spread vain doctrines that aren't true. It says, and men will follow after them and their riches, and be subject to their pride and lust for drink and bribery, and there will be respect of persons among them. So Yahushua is just saying that in the end time, listen, I shouldn't have to explain that. We see it now. We see that. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's Yahushua saying that in the end time, there will be people that believe on him, but they follow after evil and spread vain doctrines. And he's saying, and then there will be people that follow these men and follow their riches, and we're subject to their pride and their lust and their briberies. And he's saying we will respect persons. So we'll have a respect for persons. Chapter 38, it says, but they that desire to behold the face of Yah and do not respect the persons of the rich sinners, and are not ashamed before the people that led them astray, but rebuke them, they will be crowned by the Father. And they will also be saved that rebuke their neighbors, for they are sons of wisdom and of faith. But if they do not become children of wisdom, whoever hates his brother and persecutes him and shows him no favor, him will Yah despise and reject. So I just want to pause right there and just talk about this. This is saying that when you see, one is saying don't have respect of persons, and it says that you should rebuke them. So this reminds me of like the prosperity, like the money come to me now, like the prosperity stuff, prosperity gospel, because this is talking about people that believe in him, but they have vain doctrines and they're full of pride and they're obsessed with riches. And it's talking about the people that will follow them. But it's saying that when you see people like that, Yahushua is saying you should rebuke them. He's saying you should rebuke people so that the people aren't led astray. So this is what he's saying. So anyways, I'm going to keep going. This is chapter 38, verse 2. It says, but they that walk, okay, this is good. But they that walk in truth. So not just spirit, truth. But they that walk in truth and in the knowledge of the faith and have love toward me, for they have endured insult, they will be praised for that they walk in poverty and endure them that hate them and put them to shame. Oh gosh. Ugh. Men have stripped them naked, for they despise them because they continued in hunger and thirst. But after they have endured patiently, they will have the blessedness of heaven, and they will be with me forever. But woe to them that walk in pride and boasting, for their end is perdition. Woo. Yeah. Okay. So we got to endure. I took these scriptures. We got to endure. This is good for me too. And also it talks about you have to walk in truth and knowledge. And I want to call that out because I do think that's, particularly in Christianity, we're taught that if you have knowledge and love the word, sometimes that you feel like the scriptures will save you. And there's more of an emphasis on like the spirit. But in Yahushua, there's balance in all. You want to do things spiritually, but you also want the truth. And again, I've shared this before. We can't use Yahushua as a way to lie about some of the truth that's in the Bible, like who the people are, whatever. We can't say stuff like, well, he died and he doesn't care as an excuse to believe a lie. He commands us to have a love for the truth. And it says, but they that walk in truth and in the knowledge of the faith and have love toward me. So we're commanded to walk in truth and have a knowledge of the faith and to have a love of Yeshua. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So this is, again, him admonishing us to keep the commandments. This is under chapter 39. And it says, let me see. What do I want to read? Okay. It says, whoever then has kept my commandments will be, okay, so remember, this is not done away with. It says, whoever then has kept my commandments will be a son of the light. That is of the Father that is in me. But because of them that corrupt my words, I have come down from heaven. I am the word. I became flesh, and I wearied myself and taught, saying, the burden will be saved, and they that have gone astray will go astray forever. They will be chastised. Oh my gosh. They will be chastised and tormented in their flesh and soul. Ooh, okay. So I just shared this to highlight that, again, this is another, you got to read this. This is another witness that the man himself, Yahusha, is saying, keep my commandments. You will be a son of light if you keep my commandments. He's saying, but they corrupt my words. And that's why that's why I got to come down. He's saying, I am the word. He's saying, I wearied myself and taught. He wearied himself and taught us. So I'm just sharing. Again, this is another witness. Don't ever let anybody tell you that Yahusha came, died for our sins, and so we ain't got to worry about keeping the commandments. We ain't got to worry about that no more. At best, you have to worry about the 10. You have to worry about that. You have to worry about the things that Yahusha says, which are commandments. Okay? All right, so let me keep going. Oh, man. Oh, okay, I'm trying to think if I want to read this whole thing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and try to read it. Okay, so it's chapter 43, and it's talking about the virgin, the wise and foolish virgins. Ugh. Okay, so it says, chapter 43, and you will be like wise virgins, which watch and did not sleep, but went forth to the Lord into the bride chamber. But the foolish, but the foolish virgins were not able to watch, but slumbered. And we said to him, Lord, who are the wise and who are the foolish? And he said to us, 5 wise and 5 foolish, for these are they of whom the prophet has spoken, sons of God they are. Here now are their names. But we wept and were troubled for them that slumbered. He said to us, the 5 wise are faith and love and grace and peace and hope. Now they of the faithful which possess these will be guides to them that have believed on me and on him that sent me. For I am the Lord, and I am the bridegroom whom they have received. And they have entered into the house of the bridegroom and have laid down with me in the bridal chamber rejoicing. But the 5 foolish, when they had slept and had awakened, came to the door of the bridal chamber and knocked, for the doors were shut. Then they wept. So the disciples are hearing this and they're weeping. And they lamented that no man opened to them. We said to him, Lord, and their wise sisters that were within the bridegroom's house, did they continue without opening to them? Did they not sorrow for their sakes, nor entreat the bridegroom to open? So he's saying, did the 5 wise that made it, did they not entreat so that their other sisters could come in? It says, he answered us saying, they were not yet able to obtain favor for them. We said to him, to Yahusha, Lord, on what day will they enter in for their sister's sake? So he's saying, on what day will the 5 foolish enter in for the sake of the 5 wise? Then he said to us, this is Yahusha. Oh gosh, listen. He said to us, he that is shut out is shut out. And we said to him, Lord, is this word determined? They're upset, rightfully so. Facebook and Insta, come back. Okay. And he said, Lord, is this determined? Who then are the foolish? And he said to us, hear their names. They are knowledge, understanding, obedience, patience, and compassion. But listen, I hate Facebook and Insta. This is going to end. So I may just start it over. But look, this is important. This is why I say this. It says, these are knowledge, understanding, obedience, patience, and compassion. Listen. These are they that slumbered in them, meaning they slumbered in knowledge, understanding, obedience, patience, and compassion, and they believed and confessed me, but have not fulfilled my commandments. What? This is going to end. Facebook, come back. Okay. Sorry, YouTube. Facebook, hopefully you came back. Okay, listen. When I read this, oh my gosh, can I tell y'all, okay, let me tell y'all something. We are told today, just believe. We are told, man, please don't worry about that. You ain't got to worry about don't worry about the commandments. We're told you're a Pharisee if you consider the commandments. We're told commandments and laws, Old Testament. Don't worry about that. This blew my mind. I don't think that I'm articulating it, and that's why I want y'all to just go read it for yourself. But for me, this blew my mind because it's Yahusha himself. It's Yahusha himself saying that the 5 foolish virgins, they slumbered in knowledge, understanding, obedience, patience, and compassion. But it says they slumbered in those traits, but they believed on him and they confessed his name, but they did not fulfill his commandments. And to me, that's powerful because today we have people that think it's a religion. It's a whole thing that people believe that all you have to do is believe. All you have to do is confess. But you ain't got to worry about keeping commandments. If you keep commandments, you're a Pharisee. If you keep commandments, you are you are obsessed with the law. If you keep commandments, you are full of pride. But he's saying that the 5 foolish virgins that were shut out were people that believed and confessed, but they didn't keep his. Oh my gosh. Do y'all see? This is why I wanted to share this. Because we're told that. We're told it's a whole thing about how you don't have to keep the commandments, or you're a Pharisee, or you're obsessed with law. But he says that those are the ones that are shut out, the ones that believe and confess. It says it. They believed and confessed me, but they didn't fulfill my commandments. Oh my gosh. Y'all, let me tell you something. Once again, don't ever let nobody tell you that Yahusha died on the cross and when he was resurrected, it's grace. I mean, meaning it's only grace and you ain't got to worry about it no more. Don't let nobody tell you that. It's false doctrine. It's false. Don't let anyone tell you that after he was resurrected, he does not care about the commandments because we can't do it because it's grace. That is false. Okay. Chapter 46. But be upright and preach rightly and teach, and do not be abashed by any man and fear not any man. So he's saying don't be scared. And especially the rich, for they do not do my commandments, but boast themselves in their riches. And we said to him, Lord, tell us if it is the rich only. And he answered, saying to us, if any man who is not rich and possesses a small livelihood gives to the poor and needy, men will call him a benefactor. So let me see. So he's saying, I don't have to explain that. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. He's saying, preach uprightly, teach. Don't be scared. And we all get scared. I've been scared to share certain things, but we're not called to do that. We're scared. We have to tell the truth, right? It says, boast not in riches. And, but if you have a small livelihood, he says, give to the poor and needy, right? You'll be called a benefactor. Okay. Let me keep going. Chapter 47. It says, but if any man falls under the load of sin that he has committed, then will his so this is for the don't judge me crowd. This is for those that feel like this is a modern day Christian. It's not Christian. It's a modern day thing that people say whenever you bring out the word, and that's that don't judge me. God said don't judge. Listen, it says, but if any man falls under the load of sin that he has committed, then will his neighbor correct him because of the good that he has done to his neighbor. And if his neighbor corrects him and he returns, he will be saved. And he that corrected him will receive a reward and live forever. For a needy man, if he sees him that has done him good sin and does not correct him, okay, so this is for the don't judge me crowd, and does not correct him, will be judged with a severe judgment. So listen, for those of you that say stuff like, only God can judge, can't nobody judge me but God, you don't judge, don't judge, don't judge. You're out of order. You're out of order. Let me tell you, I want to speak to people who say this to people who believe in Yah or God. I think Christians get this a lot too. If you ever bring the word and somebody doesn't know the word, they're gonna pull the whole, can't nobody judge me but God, you don't judge. But I'm telling you, that's out of order. What you have to understand is that person, whatever they are, if they're bringing the Bible and they're trying to correct you with love, they are commanded to do that. Because you got to understand, you can't just have one scripture that says, don't judge me, or can't nobody judge me but God. At the end of the day, they are commanded to do that, or there's a judgment on them. You understand? Because they have to tell you the truth. So I wanted to call that out because I've heard people say, can't nobody judge me but God. No. People are commanded to tell you the truth in love, not bash you over the head, but in love, tell you the truth. Them telling you the truth about what the Bible says is not, can't nobody judge me. They have to do that, or the blood is on their hands. That's why they do it. I'm sharing this for people that are not believers, and you're like, well, they seem oppressive. Why are they doing this? Because they're commanded to. Because if they don't do it, there's a judgment, right? They have to tell you the truth in love, or it says there's a severe judgment. So that was for the crowd. If you're somebody that says, can't nobody judge me but God. No, if you're a believer, is called to call stuff out. So I just want to share that. Okay. If a blind man leads a blind, they both fall into a ditch. And whoever respects persons for their sake will be as the two. As the prophet has said, woe to them that respect persons and justify the ungodly for reward, even they whose God is their belly. Behold, that judgment will be their portion. For truly I say to you, on that day I will have neither respect for the rich nor pity for the poor. So, this reminds me again of like prosperity ministries where you have irrespective persons, like you follow people because they're rich. You follow people because they're flashy. We follow people because of whatever. But the Most High says don't do that. Also, I want to point out that for those of you that are a little nervous because you feel like, oh, that's not Bible. I just want to say, I really haven't read anything that does not line up with the Holy Bible. Everything that I've read in here, this is for the That's Not Bible crowd, it lines up. In the Bible, it tells you, is it in Ezekiel or in Isaiah? One of them, but it tells you you have to correct your brother or the blood will be on your hands. In the Bible, it talks about don't have a respect for persons. It talks about the blind. It literally says it. It says the blind will lead the blind. So I want to say this to encourage you. If there's anyone that's watching this and you're like, I don't know, I'm kind of scared because what is that book? It lines up. It lines up with the 66. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. I wanted to point that out. Okay, chapter 48. If you behold a sinner, here we go. If you behold a sinner, admonish him between him and you. So you're supposed to go privately. There's order. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. And if he does not hear you, then take with you another, as many as 3, and instruct your brother again. If he does not hear you, let him be to you as a heathen man or a tax collector. That's also in the Bible, by the way. Okay. Chapter 50. Let me see how much. Okay, this is it. Chapter 50. Why did I highlight this? I'm just going to read it. It says, they that hate such things, let me see. Actually, I'll do chapter 49. Let me keep reading. If you hear anything against your brother, give it no credence. Do not slander and do not delight in hearing slander. For thus it is written, do not permit your ear to receive anything against your brother. But if you see anything, correct him, rebuke him, and convert him. So those are the words of Jesus, of Yeshua. And we said to him, Lord, you have in all things taught us and warned us. But Lord, concerning the believers, even them to whom it belongs to believe in the preaching of your name, is it determined that among them also there will be doubt and division, jealousy, confusion, hatred, and envy? For you say, they will find fault with one another and respect the persons of them that sins and hate them that rebuke them. Oh, is this not today? Is this not today? The disciples are saying, all this stuff you're talking about, are you trying to say that believers are going to believe this? We know the answer because the answer is yes. This is today. It says the believers find fault with one another. They have division, jealousy, and envy, and they hate other believers that rebuke them. Guys, this is what I'm telling you. This is why I love the Epistle of the Apostles. You got to read it for yourself so it speaks to you. I said, this is today. This is today. But they're asking him, Are we going to find these things amongst believers? And it says, and he answered and said to us, how then will the judgment come about, that the corn should be gathered into the garner and the shaft thereof cast into the fire? Oh my gosh, that's bad. Okay, chapter 50. They that hate such things and love me. So he's saying hate those things. Don't like strife, envy, jealousy, confusion, and then hate, rebuke. It says they that hate such things and love me, okay, and rebuke them that do not fulfill my commandments. Again, he's talking about being the commandments, will be hated and persecuted and despised and mocked. Okay, so he's saying, if you're a believer, we know this, and you hate the things that I just mentioned, and you rebuke people that don't fulfill the commandments, he says, prepare to be hated. He says, you will be hated, you will be persecuted, you will be despised, and you will be mocked. Is that not true? That's true. That's true right now. That's true. He says, prepare to be hated. Okay. Men of purpose speak of them that which is not true, and will band themselves as together against them that love me. So he said people will come together and gossip on you, and they're gonna come together against people that love Yahushua. Okay, he says, but these will rebuke them that they might be saved. But he's saying rebuke them so that they might be saved. It says, but them that will rebuke and chasten and warn them, they will hate them and thrust them aside and despise them and hold themselves far from them that wish them good. But they that endure such things will be like to the martyrs with the Father, because they have striven for righteousness and have not striven for corruption. Ugh, heavy. And we asked him, Lord, will such things be among us? And he answered us, do not be afraid. It will not be in many, but in a few. And we said to him, yet tell us in what manner will it come to pass? And he said to us, there will come forth another doctrine and a confusion. And because they will strive after their own advancement, they will bring forth an unprofitable doctrine. That's now, that's today. And therein will there be a deadly corruption, and they will teach it. And it will turn away them that believe on me from my commandments and cut them off from continuous life. This is, oh my gosh. But woe to them that falsify this word and commandment of mine, and draw away them that listen to them for the life of the doctrine, and separate themselves from the commandment of life. For together with them they will come into continuous judgment. I'm gonna run out of time, but I love this, because this prophesied what I feel that we see today. He's saying that there will come forth another doctrine that causes confusions, because people strive after their own advancement. That's today. People strive after their own glory, their own pride. And so they teach false doctrines. But they turn away people from believing on his commandments. That's literally today. But I'm just reminding you guys of this, that we are to keep the commandments of Yahushua. He says, separate from people that do that, right? So I'm going to run out of time. So let me do this. This was random readings out of the Apocrypha. It was out of the Epistle of the Apostles. I highly encourage you to read this. Again, what was the point? Really, it was just random readings. Honestly, I wanted to share all these things that I read. I wanted you guys to be aware. I wanted to plug the Epistle of the Apostles. I'm excited for you to read it. How this book spoke to me, it may speak to you in different ways. If you've read the Epistle of the Apostles and something spoke to you, reach out. You can comment, or you can just reach out, because I really do love this book. So I hope you guys got something out of this. The main point was, do you see how much Yahushua talks about keeping his commandments? Right? So don't let anyone tell you he died and now there is only grace and we just have to believe and we're cool. No. Okay, there's a standard to Yahushua. And his standard is encompassed in the commandments. And it's very important. Okay, that's it. I'm going to hit time. That's it. But I love you guys. And I will see you on the next one.